Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, I told you when we got back from our... Hey everybody, it's Josie. Welcome back to Cedar Creek Homestead. Well, we've spent the weekend, Friday and Saturday anyway, going to yard sales and going to some of the little booths that they had set up throughout town, and Fin and Feather, and there was another... show over by Greenleaf, and those are all within just miles of each other for the weekend. And so there were lots and lots of people in town shopping. It's all of the places that we went to were outdoor shopping, if that was a concern to anyone. We were out and about and enjoyed the day and got to spend time and fellowshipping and seeing neighbors and people that we don't always see day to day. And then yesterday we spent the day at church, and so today I'm here to show you some of the treasures that I got. Now, I went looking for things that could be used here on the farm, and there were, like I said, there were lots and lots of people there. I will say that I don't think all of our vendors are back yet. I don't think all of the people that normally have sales have all returned. Now, that's not to say there weren't lots and lots of booths and lots of people having yard sales. It just seems like there weren't quite as many as there usually are. But I did get some things that I consider treasures. Now remember, one man's junk is another man's treasure. So you may see the things that I have here today and think, what in the world was she thinking dragging that home? I know Blade thought that, but he found some things too that I might consider, I would probably overlook, except knowing that that was something that he really liked. And that's a good thing. If somebody doesn't see value in something anymore and someone else can, then hey, we're passing it on, and we're doing our best to keep it out of the trash piles and saving ourselves a little bit of money in the process. So I'll show you the things that I considered my little treasures this week, and we'll get started. The first thing I'll show you is, of course, y'all know that I'm anxiously waiting for my little grandson to arrive in October, and I'm a book lover. I love books. I love children's books, and Blade and Cheyenne not so much. So it'll be up to me, Ma, to be the book reader, and I have got a pretty good library of children's books, but I'm always adding to them. And so I just picked up this little book, really cheap, to add to my collection, and it's a story on being a good neighbor. I've already read it. I thought it was really cute, and anything that I can do to teach others how to treat one another. Sometimes us adults need to read these books. So for fun, I had that little added that little book. Now, I'm always on the lookout for good cookbooks, and I went to this booth, and I go to this same booth every year. When I say booth, it's not really, it's kind of like a big conglomeration of yard sales. And these same people have are in the same location every year. And they're little church ladies, and they all get together, and they all have their stuff. And they usually have some good old-timey or vintage stuff that is really right up my alley. And they didn't disappoint this year. One of the things that I saw on one of the ladies' tables was this Fanny Farmer cookbook. Now, I know that there's a lot of recipes in here that I will probably never try, but I love looking through it. I love reminiscing about the things that the ladies were doing in their day. This says 1896. Now, of course, this is a reprint, and I believe I looked at it earlier, and the original copyright was 1896, but this is a commemorative edition that was published in the year 2000. So this particular book is 21 years old, but the recipes are from much further back. And I just find it interesting to see what our ancestors were making. Of course, we know that there are recipes have had to be changed today, canning recipes especially, to add in safety measures, and this book has advertisements in the back of it, and this little lady is advertising chocolates, and they have pure mustard spices and cream tartar, and I just find those books educational and fun to look at. At that same booth, I got another cookbook, Classic Pennsylvania Dutch Cooking, and I'll do the same thing with this one. I'll read through it and find recipes that I want to make. Now this one to me does not sound interesting. Cooked beef tongue. I promise you I won't be making that one anytime soon. But anyway, it's always interesting to see what people in different areas of the country and different backgrounds are making to provide for their families. Well, I'll tell you a really quick and cute story about this lady. She came over to where we were at, and she said, now my cookbooks are 50 cents a piece. And I thought, oh, that's great. 50 cents, I'll grab this up. And I had this one too. And she was so sweet when I went to check out. She said, now for this cookbook, I'll have to ask a little bit more money. And that I was fine with that, because it's a nice, you know, I wouldn't say it's leather bound, but it's a nice cookbook, and it's something that I'm interested in, and I would have paid more money for it. She said, I'm going to have to ask $1 for that. And I just smiled, and I was glad to pay $1 for it. But I just thought it was really cute that she was concerned that she was going to have to charge 50 cents more. And I hope that she sold all that she had that day and was blessed with her little kind heart that she had. So I got those two recipe books. And then I was at another sale, and I got this recipe book. Now this one, I think I paid, I want to say that I paid 25 cents for it. I might have paid 50 cents. But this book is 2,000 recipes for holiday parties and other special occasions. And it's from home economic teachers. And it is just filled with recipes. And so I might find something interesting in here to bring to you guys. This one is from 1970, so this is a 51-year-old cookbook, same age as me, so it should have some good vintage recipes in it. I get tickled at thinking that this is vintage, because I guess that means that I'm vintage too. Anyway, that was the cookbooks, and there were lots and lots and lots of cookbooks, but I've got a lot of cookbooks. I love cookbooks. I love unique cookbooks. But I also like cookbooks of things that I know that I'm going to use, and so I had to pace myself. I knew that I could bring home way more cookbooks and spend the cold winter evenings looking through the cookbooks and finding interesting recipes. But I thought I'd behave myself this time and just get a few cookbooks. Another thing that I found, now I have to hold this up in pieces, and this came with a little chain, but I've seen pictures. I looked it up so I could tell you guys what I knew about it, and there are some pictures that have chains, but I really think that this doesn't really go with this, and you guys might be able to tell me. This is a 20-pound by the ounce Hanson Brothers 33 Serial C scale. And what I looked up said it could be a produce scale or hardware scale. Now, that came with a tray, a weighted, pardon me, a means to hang. This is what it came with. And the scale hooks to the top here. Now, the ones that I saw several pictures of this kind of tray. I'm not going to say that this is the exact tray that goes with it, or if this is even authentic. I'm not sure, but I did see some pictures of this one that hooks the scale right here, and then it has the hanging at the top like that. some of them had more of a scoop type at the bottom, where you'd put the product in and weigh it, and then you could tilt it and scoop it into a bag or whatever they were using to put their produce in, or their hardware, nails, whatever it was that they were using. But it also came with a chain, and I really don't think on this particular setup that I've got, it had the chain goes with it. Now the one that had the tilt basket, it did have a chain. But with this type of hanging tray, I don't see how the chain would come into effect. But if y'all know more than I do, please feel free to share, because it's just something that I liked. I saw it and I thought, that's something that belongs on Cedar Creek. And so I brought it home with me. Now the little lady that I bought that from, I had some other things in my hand that I had picked up from her sale. And when I bought that scale, and she was ringing it up, she said, oh, you could just have those other things. So she gave these to me for free, and she did not have to do that. But sometimes I think that the Lord blesses us in little special ways through other people, and that's how I'm going to choose to look at it. But I got this little measuring cup with the 3 different spouts. Do you see it? Isn't that cute? It is to me. And I will put that to good use. And then I got this shaker jar. Now I know that this part is not in the best of condition, but these are the kinds of things that I love and that I can put to good use. And you know what? I think it brings joy to our hearts when we can have things around us that brings us a little bit of pleasure. It makes us smile while we're throughout the day doing our jobs. Chances are I'll put this in my big window that Howie built me in front of my kitchen sink, where I stand and wash dishes and prepare supper. And my granny and my mama always had stuff in their kitchen windows that was of interest while they stood there and done their chores, that brought joy to them. And I like to do the same thing. And so Howie, when we remodeled our kitchen, he built me some big, wide window sills so that I could set some of my little treasures on it, and I'm thankful for that. Now the next thing that I got, I like Enamelware. I like the red trimmed Enamelware. I like the green trimmed Enamelware. I just like Enamelware. And you've probably seen, if you've paid attention, when I'm at my kitchen table, mixing up things, to show you back behind me on one of the walls going down my that leads into my laundry room, I have a tongue and groove wall, and I have my iron skillets hanging on that, and up above my iron skillets I have a whole row of wash pans, or what I call wash pans. It's enamel with I think every one of them, maybe one has black trim, but I think all the rest of them have red trim, and I love them and I use them. And most of them have chips in them, and I'm fine with that. The chip doesn't bother me at all. I like to sit on the back porch and snap my beans into them. I like to just use them throughout my chore day, and again, it's something that brings me joy. And so I brought another treasure home to add to my collection, and I will put it to use. Again, this has chips in it, and it doesn't bother me a bit. But I got an oval pan. I hope you can see that it's oval. Yeah, you can. And when I saw it, I had no reservations about it. And you might think, when I tell you what I paid for it, you may think I'm crazy, but I paid $10 for it. And I just thought that it would be something that I wouldn't mind a bit to set it in my sink with hot soapy water and use it to do my daily chores. And that's just me, guys, in all of my weirdness, strangeness, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I did want to tell you that at the different sales, I saw lots of canning jars. But I will tell you that the majority of the canning jars did not have any lids or rings or flats on them at all. I I saw at one sale they had boxes and boxes of canning jars that's been used throughout the years at their home. She had them for $6.50 a dozen, which is good for the jars, but there were no lids. Another place had the little quilted jars for jelly jars, and none of those had lids and rings. They did have the plastic lids, so you could use them for storage jars if you wanted to, but they wanted $1 a piece for those. And I did find a few standalone quart jars and half-gallon jars. The quart jars, the quart jar that I saw, that I'm going to quote the price to you, it had a lid and ring on it, but they wanted $2 just for the quart jar and lid. So I'm thankful that I've had opportunity throughout these last years when different people from church or different neighbors were saying, asking if I wanted their jars because they no longer wanted to can. I didn't turn them away, and that's, you guys think about that too. If you have opportunity to get jars from somebody that they're just giving them away, I would snatch them up and put them on your shelf, because it's not getting any easier. You know, throughout the summer we were able to find jars. I found jars at some of my shops that I go to, the big box stores. They would have places where the product belonged, but most of the time when I would go in, they were sold out. Or they would have like one box of jars or something like that. So they haven't been, just in my area anyways, they haven't been as an abundant supply. I did have a subscriber send me a picture, a beautiful picture of in the alley at one of her stores, and it was just piled high with canning jars, and I thought, oh, that's wonderful. But that just never happened at my local stores. They sold out really quickly. Lids, I never really saw an abundance of lids this year, but I wasn't hurting for lids. I already had lids bought up from previous years, and I do have an order with Harvest Guard. Yeah, Harvest Guard. I get Harvest Guard and Harvest Right, the freeze dryer, mixed up. But Harvest Guard, and I think I've already shared with you that they sent a letter saying that we were welcome to cancel if we wanted to, because they were having trouble getting the rubber gaskets. The lid itself they had, but they were having trouble getting the gaskets, and they weren't really sure an estimated time. But I'm just going to leave my order in. I'm okay with that. I've already got it budgeted in, and I'm just going to leave it because I'm not hurting for lids. I understand some of you that are, and that you would have to cancel. So anyway, always keep a lookout for those kind of things. I didn't need the jars, so I didn't buy them. But there were some pretty good jar deals. But be careful on those single jars. It seems like they really jack the prices up. And if you don't know, sometimes they can present, especially in a situation like this where people were coming in to look at crafts and antiques and yard sale stuff. Sometimes people will put something out. I'm not saying they do it on purpose. They may not even know themselves. Putting a jar out and putting it with the old jars, and it's really just a common everyday jar that's not very old, and they'll put an antique price on it. So just be careful and know what you're looking for. Okay, so some other things that I got. At the end of October, we're having a baby shower for Blade and Cheyenne, and we're doing a fall theme, not Halloween and all that kind of stuff, just fall, pretty flowers and greenery, and just a fall relaxed atmosphere. And so I found a tray to use at the baby shower, plus we can use it afterwards. Pardon me for just a moment, I got it caught on something here. Okay, so I got this 3-tiered shelf, and it's a metal shelf. I'm almost positive that it originally came from Hobby Lobby. I can't swear to that, but I'm pretty sure that I've seen this at Hobby Lobby. Now, this is a good color for us, and we'll be able to use it this way and use it in my house as well. afterwards. It's good metal. It's good and sturdy. I'll be able to use it for cupcakes, or just as a decorated tier tray, or any kind of thing that we want to put on there to use for her baby shower. And then afterwards I can use it anywhere in the house. Now something like this would be easy to be painted, that you could use it for whatever your color theme is. And I thought it was a good deal. It's something I'm going to need anyway for that party, and it's something that can be used for years to come for different events. And so I was pleased with that purchase. The last two things that I wanted to show you was this really cute tea towel, made to look like a little dress. Now you may have seen these, but I saw it. I thought it was really cute. I liked the little print that was at the top of it, and the tea towel, just a little brown with a little stripe, has the Velcro on the sides, and I need this. Besides it looking cute, Howie was notorious, and Blade follows right in behind him. I have a bar handle on my dishwasher that I keep a tea towel on. I try to keep a real cute tea towel, but when he comes in and dries his hands, he's like his daddy. They get that tea towel, dry their hands off, and they just kind of half stick it back on there. So sometimes it hangs halfway off, sometimes it ends up in the floor. But this will put a stop to that, because he's going to be able to dry his hands, but this isn't going to come off of there. He'll just dry his hands, and this will stay in place, and I won't have to pick it up off the floor and put it back every time I walk through the kitchen. So I got that, and I got a bib for my little grandson to be, that'll be here in December, and it's real, got a real cute little print on it with the Velcro closure, be able to really be off, you know, taken off and put on really quickly, and get that mess cleaned up, whatever he happens to be eating. And I'm going to use these for patterns for future projects. I'll share with you more tomorrow on that, on our Tuesday talk that we have. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing the things that I decided to make purchase of and bring home to Cedar Creek. We had fun. We were able to relax a little bit. It wasn't that hot. It was a nice day, nice days, able to see some of our friends and neighbors and enjoy being out and spending time with each other. And that always makes it worth it. So until next time.